Once again, this fall has been stacked with some amazing anime. And for the last 2 months, I've been watching all the latest releases, which have been an absolute blast. The big anime haven't disappointed, of course. There's a lot of anime that don't get much attention, which is to be expected. Hell, when I watched the first episode of Bocchi the Rock, I didn't hear much hype from it, but as the episodes went on, the audience slowly started to build and now everyone knows about it. And it's really cool when you watch a show you think is an underrated gem and then all of a sudden it becomes a hit. I remember last year when I finished watching Squid Game a day after it dropped and I heard virtually nothing. But a week later there was this hype around the show. Everyone was talking about it and I felt a bit smug that I watched it before it was popular. But I was also glad that people were made aware of a show which I enjoyed so much. And the same can be said of Bocchi the Rock really. I didn't think it would be so well received, but it makes sense if you think about it. The way it appeals to a general audience, its unique animation style, and of course its relatability, tackling themes that we know a thing or two about, like introversy, social anxiety, and the fears of being perceived. All of this culminated in a show that delivers and has gained a prominent fan base. But what if I told you there was another show that had all of this and has been flying swiftly under the radar? A show that is as relatable as Bocchi, looks stunning, and is also something that anyone can watch. Play It Cool Guys is a slice of life anime that tells the story of 4 ordinary guys who at first glance seem pretty chill in the way they look, act, and speak. But little do they know that these cool guys are in fact really clumsy, but seemingly able to, as the title suggests, play it cool. So the anime started off as a series of illustrations that the author Kukone Nata uploaded onto their Twitter feed, before being serialized on Pixiv, a Japanese online community for artists to make their own stories. If any of you can read Japanese, you can still find the full stories on the website. And in 2019, the series was reformatted in manga form by Square Enix's manga division, Gatchin. And don't worry, this has all been translated into English, but I thought I would mention this since I forget that Square Enix has a number of non-gaming subsidiaries under their name. So seeing Square Enix in the corner there did raise an eyebrow. But yeah, that's one hell of a journey for the manga, but of course we're talking about the anime, which was handed over to Pierrot? I don't know. You heard right, the same company that made Bleach and Naruto are also working on this, and they've already got their hands full with Boruto on the new Bleach season. So Play It Cool guys are just squeezing themselves in between these 2 Goliaths. And that's not to take away from all these other studios who have put their hand in the ring to make this show. Not gonna lie, I was really curious when I saw Pierrot was working on it. I know that a prominent anime studio means nothing in the long run, but as you guys can tell, Naruto was a huge thing for me growing up. So there was a tiny part of me that felt a bit loyal to the studio, but I wouldn't let that fanboy in my head have its way, so I would be watching the anime like I was watching anything else. But either way, let's see what the creator of Giants has in store for us. Well, when you first start to watch the show, you begin to realise that these episodes are 10 minutes long. I mean, most anime episodes run for about 20 to 30 minutes, so this is odd to say the least. I guess with it being a web series, it was much shorter, but even then, studios tend to combine 2 stories into one. I mean, look at Spy Family. Having said that, it's a nice change of pace, and considering how I'm like on a Monday evening, I would rather just relax with a quickie than go for a long session. I can't believe I'm saying that. But other than that, I can't think why else they would do it. Unless it's the studio lengthening out each episode so the manga can stay ahead. I mean, it's by the people who made Bleach and Naruto, so I don't know. Joking aside, let's get into this. So, as I said earlier, the story focuses on 4 characters who are introduced in the first 4 episodes, and we learned who they are and how they react to their own clumsiness. First you have Hayate Ichikura, a university student who gets embarrassed and reflects on his mistakes. Then there's Shun Futami, a high school student that doubles down on his clumsiness. Takayuki Mima, a salaryman who's unfazed or even oblivious when he makes mistakes. And last there is Somashiki, an art student who laughs off his clumsiness and remains positive. Here we are introduced to each of the characters as they go about their days and deal with their mishaps. And despite their disposition, they're seemingly able to play it off in their own ways, even if it attracts confusion from their friends and colleagues. I really liked how each episode introduced these characters, as it clearly shows how different each personality is to one another. And the way they react to their clumsiness meshes really well with each character. My favourite is Hayate, since I used to be like him when I was growing up, and I'm sure you guys can find someone to relate to when watching this series, whether you get embarrassed, stubborn, indifferent or positive. When you make mistakes, these characters showcase all of the possible traits. Of course, it isn't a relatable anime until it starts being relatable, and when we actually see these guys make mistakes, boy do we feel it. Oh, you forgot your phone? Yeah, that's happened to me. Oh, you've gone the wrong way? Yeah, that's happened to me too. Oh, you left something behind? Yeah, I mean, we've all been guilty of doing this one way or the other. Just like in Bocchi the Rock, we feel empathy towards these characters who are consistently clumsy and understand what it's like to be in their position. And this is what the anime does so well, having us empathize with these characters. You see, when it comes to characters, we have to have a reason to care about them. If we don't, then what's the point? So this is where empathy comes in, as being able to understand a character is a big step to engaging ourselves with them. Sure, not all of us are able to understand the mind of these 4 characters by itself, because, well, not all of us are handsome, cool dudes. But the anime shows us why we should care about these characters because, well, they're just like us. By showcasing their clumsiness and their reactions, we all start to think, ah, that's happened to me. And that is us empathizing with these characters. We feel what these characters are feeling in the moment as we ourselves have gone through it. Of course, it's not an exact science, but being able to write empathetic characters is a difficult thing that even I struggle with at times, as it involves giving the audience a reason to care, and the anime achieves it effortlessly. As each episode goes by, I find myself caring for these guys more and more, and they do this without making us feel sorry for them, because for the most part, the characters have nothing to feel sorry about. Sure, they're clumsy, but they aren't suffering. Even Hayate, with his embarrassment, is not stunted by his lack of coordination, as he's in a very good university, so he's doing something right. And that's really good, because I don't want to feel sorry for these guys. Sounds mean, but they don't need sympathy. It's not a story about how these guys have it hard. Instead, it's a story of 4 guys living life while dealing with their flaws. Because everyone makes mistakes or messes up. And so what? It doesn't stop you from being who you are. We make mistakes to learn, which is probably out of the realm of possibility for these guys. Even so, it's okay to be clumsy, and the way you react is absolutely valid. You are who you are, and the people who are like these characters can bring so much joy in our lives. Of course, as the story progresses, the 4 soon run into each other and find themselves enamored at how cool they seem, which starts to develop into a budding friendship as they realise that they have a lot in common. And from the date of this review, it seems the relationships between these 4 are moving smoothly as they begin to bond with one another. But by then, I was hooked to this show, and I think it was due to my personal experiences that I was able to relate to it so hard. As when I was younger, I was quite clumsy, forgetting to bring stuff to school, leaving stuff at school, and just being all around forgetful. And most of my reactions were similar to Hayate in the sense that I would be embarrassed and reflect upon it. These days I don't do it as much since I'm always alert, but I still have my moments, such as a few days ago when I left my house realising my hoodie was inside out. So I awkwardly walked back home to switch it back. Although I try not to think about it too much because I understand now that mistakes happen and you just need to accept them or just play it cool. Got a bit personal there, but this is what makes this anime so good. The way the characters embody our experience as we share a commonality. Yes, anime in general can be a bit at times, but when they deal with issues we can relate to, it becomes really engaging. And on a plus note, it's nice to see issues like this being tackled in a more wholesome way, as too often we see the ugly side of these issues. So when an anime does this, it feels like a breath of fresh air, and I'm happy that we have some strong relatable anime this fall that highlights these issues, and who knows, maybe you guys can take something away from this show like I have. But what else can I say? The anime has been great so far, and I plan on collecting the mangas pretty soon, so if you want a relatable slice of life anime similar to Bocchi the Rock, then give Play It Cool Guys a shot. Not only is it good, but with the short episode length, you can watch the entire series in under an hour. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna go find my phone. Where did I put it?